welcome to our Learning Series webinar for August. I'm Dave Del Vecchio, the VP of Marketing at Sourcepass. And today we've got our Quest team coming to join us to talk about the innovations that are happening and helping to drive IT experience through our revolutionary Quest platform. I'll share some roadmap and new features information, as well as some other information that can be useful in your management of IT. We'll be joined in a little bit from three members of the Quest team: Brian Spano, Director of Product Development, Brittany Magnus, our Product Manager, and Rachel Lee, who leads our UX UI design, who each have some insights to share with you about the various aspects of the platform. This is part of our regular monthly Learning Series webinar series that typically is designed to help you get more out of your existing investment in IT with Sourcepass. That's why we run these updates on our Quest platform every quarter to help let you know when new innovations have been added to the platform to make your experience that much better. We also typically feature things like 365 best practices and so forth. This is always held on the second Wednesday of the month. And you can register for future sessions at our sourcepass.com/events page, where you can find links. We also hold a second webinar series called the Digital Transformation Series, which typically runs on the fourth Wednesday of the month, where we try to look with an eye towards the future on the sorts of areas for future investment in technology. So keep an eye out on the events page for those webinars as well. If you ever miss a webinar and want to check out something that ran in the past, and at this point we've been running webinars for over a year and a half, so we have a pretty good catalog. All prior versions of our webinars are available gatekeeper free at sourcepass.com/video-library. You can find both Learning Series and Digital Transformation Series videos up on that. So please feel free to leverage that as a resource should you or anyone in your company look for information on prior topics. Give us about 7 to 10 days following today's session, and this session will be available up there as well. A couple of the upcoming events include the Digital Transformation webinar in 2 weeks. How much should you really be paying for IT? I'll be joined by our Sourcepass Core President, Matt Brown, as well as Dennis White from our sales team. We'll be exploring that question. And then a couple of the Learning Series webinars for September, October coming up is how to personalize Copilot to your workflow and getting started with Microsoft Loop. And those are all available for registration on the events page as discussed. Couple quick housekeeping items. If you have questions during the session, feel free to use the Q&A button. When folks from the Quest team aren't presenting, they'll be available to help answer those for you. And following today's session, you're going to receive a survey. On that survey, you can provide both feedback on the webinar itself, as well as some questions we've added specific to the Quest platform. So if you're a regular Quest user and have ideas that you would like to have considered for future roadmap consideration, we do read those. We welcome that feedback. So please take advantage of that opportunity. So with that, I'm going to invite Brian to come join on screen. Brian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you passing the baton here and letting me kind of share out some slides here, discuss some great things that are going on with Quest, and certainly having an opportunity to present to everybody in a webinar in this digital transformation series. So appreciate that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, which will kind of like give a little detail on for some things that we're trying to do when we're looking ahead here. I'm going to present that shortly. Let me see. Looks like we are presenting it now. So, yeah, again, like I said, everybody, thank you for allowing me to, present here. This is the Quest to look ahead. I'm Brian Spano. I'm the Director of Product Development here at Sourcepass. And today, myself and a few other team members here with me are going to take you through where Quest has been, where it's situated right now, and where we're heading in the future. And again, one of the things that we always try to do here in the product team at Sourcepass is we want to make sure that we're as transparent as possible, because Quest has been a journey built on direct collaboration with our teams internally, but really with our clients. It's important to have iteration based on good feedback that we get, and we've gotten a really solid amount of that over time, which helps us walk through things pretty well. So I am going to go through some history here, highlight some real world impacts that Quest has already had, and then share our vision for where it can take it next. And of course, we'll wrap up with, like Dave said, an open Q&A where we can discuss some ideas, feedback, and any other questions that you might have. So Quest officially launched 2023, mid-year, July 10th, I think, to be exact. And it had a narrow focus at the time in terms of the launch, not the overall focus. It was a wide focus that we've had, and we've kind of we have not strayed from that. I can tell you that our focus has been pretty narrow overall, but the release was narrow. The central piece for ticket submission and access to key request forms was launched at that time, in addition to some billing features. We needed to provide everybody the focus and the access of the orders, quotes, and an invoice management. That was really important from the billing side. And then by 2024, we were already layering in some more intelligence. We introduced the Insights dashboards to give clients a higher level view of their environment through the security, the service, and the project dashboards. And that's obviously for client administrators to be able to review that and how they interact with Sourcepass, but also their own environments. We then also began to integrate some automation into the platform. That was important from the perspective of having some smart requests, which I'll kind of talk about some of those. We launched some in 2024, but really getting into it this year, but I'll go into that in a little bit. In 2024, we released our mobile app, which was it's by platform. We had our Android and our iOS platform accessible to give everybody that omni-channel Quest accessibility from anywhere, and that provided good. Obviously, we received excellent feedback there, which I'll go over to in a little bit. And we also launched the beta program, which was pretty valuable in understanding where our clients were situated, how they felt about the platform, what was important to them, so we can gear a little bit more about frequently requested items to kind of put more effort and more thought into those items. We introduced some AI-powered ticket summaries, which was pretty important as well, and a lot more, which as a result of all of that, we understood how mature we were as a product team for Quest, and that became very evident at that time. And then, of course, 2025, this is the year where we're really taking shape, because one of the goals, of course, with Quest was not just to be an innovative tool that accommodates what a lot of other tools do, but instead, we wanted to also become someone who disrupted the space, right? Became the space innovator that we've been expecting, and we've done so tenfold. And as a result, we feel that there is no tool like what we have, and certainly the features that we're working on currently just further enhance that, right? So, for example, we rolled out additional smart request forms. We have password reset automation, shared mailbox automation. We also have some additional tools this year that we've already completed and are in beta now. For example, some smart requests that are more about onboarding, right? Full onboarding automation, as an example. We added some advanced integrations with some security tools. We are improving the mobile experience. We've done that. And we've delivered a more intuitive and responsive interface. As far as some other really important points of this year, we now have an increasing number of new clients actively using Quest every single month. Mobile adoption has jumped also over the last year, which tells us people are finding real value in being able to use Quest on the go, in addition to receiving the notifications that they would expect to see from not sitting in front of their desk. From a productivity standpoint, we've measured a pretty significant number of client and also service team member hours that are saved each month through automation. That's time that our service team can reinvest in solving more complex, higher value issues. And of course, for yourselves, if clients, when you use Quest to reset your own password, schedule your own service times, use approval workflows, we remove a countless number of hours of manual work that are really being done from both sides, right? And the teams can then focus on solving hard problems instead of chasing down approvals, resetting accounts, simple things that can be done through automation, which is not a simple process to create, but certainly a simple process to resolve. This means, of course, faster resolutions, right? Important to understand from a client perspective. You want faster acknowledgement, faster response, faster resolution. That's what you want. These things can help you get there. And that's what we're looking for overall. Less back and forth, more predictable service. So appreciate that. We're going to start here. That's the first part of this presentation. Definitely wanted to pass this along to Brittany. She can go into some other examples of things that we have, that we built, and that we have in store. So I'll pass this along to Brittany.
Hey everyone, my name is Brittany. I'm the product manager here at Quest. A couple things that I'm going to be talking about is roadmap, meaning a couple items that are coming up for feature releases, as well as our beta program, how to join, and more about that. And I'm going to preview what Brian touched on, our time scheduling feature, as well as the smart request forms. The AI chat and live chat has been a discussion within Quest since it started. And we are excited to announce that we've begun discovery on AI chat and live chat. The first version that we're going to be doing is AI chat. It's going to be your triage agent. It will help you find request forms, knowledge base, answer critical questions so that you can get to a service technician faster. Live chat is going to be the second version of that. Very exciting. We've been working internally with other team members just to make sure that we are touching every corner that's going to impact clients the most. And then we have video learning library. That is a feature that we're going to be releasing right after live chat. So the video learning library will consist of the knowledge base that you know today, just elevated. You'll be able to make videos, documentations for your client, for your companies, and we'll be able to provide video education on a Sourcepass's behalf. So that's going to be super exciting when that comes out. And the last thing, Sourcepass as a company is going to start implementing the security PIN mandate. What that means is when you log into Quest as the first time, you'll see the terms and conditions page. I'll show you when I preview Quest where your PIN is located. But when you first log in, you'll create a PIN. That PIN will become essentially your identity within Quest. Come the fall, and there will be an announcement when that happens from Sourcepass, your users will be required to provide that PIN, or we will send a push notification, SMS, or email notification. That's just going to enhance the security that Sourcepass strives to have at top performance at all times. So let me share my screen with you and show you the beta program. So the beta program lives under profile. Now, touching on the beta program, what is the beta program? The beta program allows you to step behind the fold and see features that we haven't yet released, but you guys will be the front lines to give us the most feedback. You'll be working directly with our UX UI designers, as well as myself and Brian will be collecting information from you, running scenarios with these new features. So it's exciting if you're the type of user who wants to kind of be in the know and get to use these new features. You can join at any time by going to view profile, and I'm a part of the beta program, but you can either join the beta program or leave the beta program at any time. We also will send you emails when new features are released, and you'll be hearing from Rachel, who you will see after I'm done presenting. She will reach out to you. She'll run demos on new feature releases, etc. So that's the beta program. It's very exciting. If you need more information, you can always reach out to the product team, and we're happy to hop on a call and explain new features that we have. The last part that I'm going to be talking about is the new features that we have. So very exciting that we are implementing time scheduling features. Now, this is currently in alpha testing. What that means is that we are working internally with the organization to confirm that we're getting it right the first time before we release it to clients. The time scheduling feature will be available on a ticket board basis. What that means is that current version of this, we're limiting to high level ticket boards, meaning if you guys have a critical or a very technical issue, this will be enabled. If you don't, you'll see this in a disabled state and it will say that this ticket is not available for time scheduling. Rest assured, you could still reach out to Sourcepass at any time and hop on a call. It's just for this UI experience. Version 1, we're keeping it very limited. So within schedule appointment, you'll be able to adjust who the contact name is. The reason for this is that if you have multiple of your colleagues on one ticket, and let's just say this ticket is for Brian, but I'm scheduling an appointment on his behalf, I can select Brian, I can put in his contact information, and I can also put in his time zone. If it's for you, this information will automatically pre-generate. So if it's for Brittany Magnus, my contact information will already be here. You'll be able to select next, and then very similar to today's bookings appointments flow, you'll be able to select your time and the available time for that technician or that team that is assigned to this ticket. And then lastly, you'll be able to click notes. You can add notes. You can adjust anything if you don't get it right the first time. You can click confirm. Once this is a demo, so it's not going to display properly. But once it's done, you'll see a banner that comes up and it will be able to show you the UI flow of, hey, I have an upcoming appointment. You'll get an email as well. And that's the feature for time scheduling. However, your user pin also lives within view ticket details. So because this is a demo page, we don't have user pins defined, but at any time your user pin will live right here. And if you need to make any adjustments to your user pin within here, you can go to view profile. Your pin will live right here and you'll be able to adjust it, update it as you see fit. So if we go back, that's the pin that you would then display to the service technician. The last feature that I would like to show you, which is a new feature also in beta testing, as Brian said, is our smart request reset your password. So now I have pinned this request to my Get Support, and that's probably a feature you guys are also not aware of. So I will definitely show you that as well. You can pin your favorite request forms. So if you have a request form you go to often and you don't want to go through the hassle of searching for it or going through the categories, you could pin it and it will live there at any time. This feature is only for Microsoft users that we support your tenant. However, if we do, you'll be able to get access to this and reset your Microsoft password whenever required. You would just generate a password, click submit, and then you'd be able to copy the temporary password, put it into your Microsoft account, and successfully update your password yourself. So outside of those things, I'm going to pass this off to Rachel, who is going to explain our mobile application. And she is going to go in depth and show you a live view of the mobile application. So Rachel, I'm going to hand this off to you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Brittany. Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel, like Brittany mentioned, and I'm a UX UI designer here on the Sourcepass product development team. My main focus is really helping design the user experience and interface of Quest alongside a fellow designer, Joe Niederhauser, who I believe is also on this call, but manning the Q&A section. So while Joe mainly tackles web and desktop, I primarily design for our mobile platform. And today, like Brittany mentioned, I'll be sharing a demo about how to take advantage of our mobile application. So this app is largely helpful if you are on the go, or maybe you're not near your laptop or your work computer frequently, and you still want to be able to do some of the core functionality of Quest. You can always do that with our mobile application. So hopefully this demo will just give you that overview and encourage you to download it if you haven't already done so. One thing to note, we do have the Quest by Sourcepass mobile app available both on the Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store. And I've got some QR codes here that you can hopefully see on screen. So if you'd like to follow along and download the app, as I do the demo, feel free to scan those QR codes with your phone. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that while I pull open my phone screen and then share what the mobile app actually looks like. Now, let me get that. All right. So hopefully you guys can see my mobile device right here. I'm using a demo environment, so some of the data may look slightly different, but overall the structure of the app should be about the same. So just one thing to start off with, logging into Quest on mobile is essentially the same as it is for web or desktop. You'll see the same login credentials, and with mobile, you can even set up Face ID to expedite that login process for yourself in the future, just to make things a little bit faster. Now, once you're in the app itself, we have 5 core functionalities in mobile represented by the icons on the bottom navigation bar. And this will basically help you transition from section to section. So off on the left, we have creating tickets, then we've got viewing tickets, then we have the home dashboard, profile, and lastly, notifications. One caveat is that the mobile app doesn't include all the advanced admin capabilities that web desktop has, but that is intentional and by design. We created the mobile app to really offer the core functionality of Quest that we think would be more optimal for a mobile experience. So I'll do a deep dive into each of these sections, and I'll just start with from left to right. So I'll just kind of start here with the create tickets. So this section has a lot of the same categories that you might have seen on web and desktop when you're attempting to create a ticket. And when you scroll down, you'll also see this sort of same banner style button where you can submit a general ticket if maybe one of the issues you have is not illustrated or categorized in one of the designated buckets above. And at the very bottom, you'll also see a list of popular support articles that you can kind of swipe through at a glance to take a look in case you want to read a KB topic instead. When you click into a specific category, you should see, it's loading, so here we go. You should see a list of available request forms related to that category. And at the very end, you'll also have the option to generate a more general IT support form. So I'll go ahead and click on that for the sake of this demo. We'll have that queue up. So in this more general IT ticket request form, you can go ahead and type in your summary issue, the description of your issue, and even add attachments. So I'll just mock up something here for the sake of the demo. So I'll just say help and I need help. But obviously you would change that and make that better. And then one call out with the attachment feature is that you can either attach files or photos directly from your phone. And the last thing is you could even take a live photo. So I'll just try doing that real quick and take a photo of my monitor just to show you guys how that works. Okay, cool. And we'll go ahead and just use this photo, and you'll notice that it's been added as an attachment down there. Beyond that, if you are maybe typing in your description issue and you wanted to use text to speech, you can kind of leverage your native mobile capabilities to do that. And these are just some ways that we want you guys to kind of tap into mobile and make that experience of submitting a ticket a bit easier. So you can scroll to the bottom here once you've submitted or once you've kind of reviewed all the ticket details that you want to enter. You'll get this review screen, and then from there you can hit submit when you're ready to submit the ticket. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this screen now. This is what the ticket submission page looks like. Thanks for bearing with me there. So once you see that the ticket's been submitted, you have a couple options, but the main thing that you can take after this happens is you'll click View My Ticket, and that will actually bring you to the View Ticket screen or the View Ticket section of the mobile app. So here you'll just view that specific ticket that we created. And so you'll see those details we just submitted, and they're all captured here. But if we zoom out a little bit and just take a look at the general view tickets section, you'll basically see an aggregate view of all the tickets that you have ongoing currently. Within these tickets, you can do a couple things. You can filter them by date range or ticket type or status. If you have multiple companies, you can also kind of filter them here and save these applied filters if you like. And you can also search by ticket number. So I have a specific ticket for this demo. So let's see if we can find it. And I'll just punch in that number in that search bar, and it'll kind of search and scan through all the different tickets available, and then hopefully it will show me the one that I am looking for. So we'll give it a few seconds to pull that open as well. Alrighty, so it is a monitor display issue ticket that I was looking for. So here it is pulled open. Within this specific ticket, you can see this sort of conversation thread between a communication named Tony Stark. Obviously, this is a demo environment. So you can see that here. And at the very bottom, you'll also see an attachment library of any files or photos that might have been uploaded. And of course, you can always respond back to the technician here at the very bottom. You can also toggle to the ticket details section, which is right over here. And this will reveal items like ticket properties, timeline, manage users. That all lives in this section. So if I head back to conversation, there are two other things I wanted to highlight here. One of the features that is pretty neat that Brian had mentioned at the beginning is AI summarization. So if you click on the little sparkle icon here on the top right, you can see like a summarize button. And this will basically give you a quick recap of the ticket conversation if it's quite lengthy. And for instance, you just don't want to read through all of it. This will give you like a 2 to 3 sentence summary and kind of just give you the highlights of everything you need to know. And if you want to hide it, you can just go ahead and click that sparkle icon again. You'll also have the ability to initiate custom approvals by clicking on the checkbox icon, which is right next to the sparkles. And then this will show you the kind of custom approval flow, and it'll be sent off to the designated approvers in here. So that is view tickets. And from here, I'm going to head over to another section of Quest, which is the home screen, which is where we originally started. And it's kind of the landing page when you first log in. And the home screen basically functions similar to a dashboard where you'll get like a summary view of all the open tickets with different quick access buttons. So you can create an IT request. That's a button. You can speak directly with a specialist, which will prompt you to kind of dial in. And lastly, if you wanted to share or submit any feedback regarding Quest, you can do so by clicking that button on the bottom there as well. Now we have profile. So moving into this section, profile is basically divided up into basic info and contact info, which you can toggle between. Within the basic info section, you'll find pretty standard details, things like title, company, department, time zone, etc. And below, which is probably the more important thing, is that you can find your security PIN. So if you're ever on the phone with a Sourcepass technician or like some of the things that Brittany was mentioning earlier and you need to find that security PIN, you can do so in here. And you'll just do it by tapping on it and it'll reveal the PIN. But we don't have a PIN here generated since it is a demo environment, but you'll tap on it and then it'll show you the 4-digit code. At the very bottom, you can also log out if you ever need to, should you want to log into a different account or anything like that. And in the contact info section, which is right over here, we'll toggle over. Pretty simple, as you might have guessed, your basic contact info, email address, phone number, office phone number, all that good stuff. And if you ever wanted to edit any of the information on your profile, you would just click the edit profile button, which would bring you to a screen where you could make all of those changes in various input fields. So the very last tab that we've got here is the notifications panel or notification screen. And this is basically split up into two main sections. Up top, we've got the approvals, and then down below we have notifications. You can see here. So in the approval section, you can basically approve or reject any incoming requests. I don't have any here, but I have some that I submitted off to others. So I can show you what the request details look like. You can see that the request is in pending and I'm waiting for Brittany's approval in this instance. So you can take a quick peek at that. But if you are an admin, you can also approve or reject any requests in this section. You can also take a look at the archive. So if you have an archive of approvals, you can take a look at that here and quickly filter them by these quick filters that show you approved or rejected. I'll scroll back down to notifications, but here you can basically view notifications and filter them up top by tickets, billing and orders, or quest. And by tapping on a notification, you'll basically mark that notification as read. So for instance, if you wanted to change your notifications, you would actually have to head to your profile section, and there is a settings or gear icon on the very top right. And this is the area and space that you would use to make modifications to push notifications, in-app notifications, or any email notifications up here. So that is basically a high-level summary of our mobile app. But if there's anything I didn't cover or if any areas I could clarify a little bit more, feel free to drop those questions in the Q&A, and I'm sure we'll get to them at the end. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll just go ahead and pass it back to Brian. I know he probably has some closing remarks as well as Q&A. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Great job on that. Appreciate that for sure. I think that, what it might be important for everybody to realize is that these are tools that, while some of them are pretty new, some of them have been around for a bit, it's important that everyone understands how they are going to potentially use the app, right? It's not for the same person will not use it the same as others, right? That's important to understand, and we also understand that. But it is everyone's turn to dive in, right? The Quest by Sourcepass mobile app is officially available for download. It's packed with everything you just saw, thanks to what Rachel's presentation was, and even more coming soon. So it's, whether you're tracking tickets, checking updates, certainly some other new features that we're talking about, some others that we haven't yet gone over, and that may be in a future roadmap discussion, but there are certainly certain other things there. But continuously other types of reasons for using the app for benefiting you as a user, whether you're a client administrator or a standard user, checking updates, staying connected with your team. The Quest mobile app makes it pretty seamless from your phone. So, why would you download this? Obviously, enjoying all the features that Rachel just kind of demonstrated, and be the first to experience upcoming new enhancements, because we're going to release those pretty often during our releases. We do releases I wouldn't say it's every 3 weeks, but that's how often we do sprints. And a lot of times we do releases during that time. And if you have questions about how to access what those new features are, sometimes we'll modalize them by putting that information directly in front of you when you first arrive. You might have seen that on the Quest web app or desktop app if you're using the desktop. But we also provide it in the mobile when mobile is also updated. But another reason, of course, would be to stay productive wherever you are, right? In addition to these two QR codes, for your option, you can visit the sourcepass.com website, where we have some recent blog entries. We discussed the mobile app, ways you can download it directly there in case you're unable to do so during the presentation. So vision forward, right? The vision for Quest is that it becomes a single pane of glass for everything facing for yourselves, facing clients, service requests, automation, insights, procurement, right? All in one spot. We're taking an automation first approach. Everybody understands what kind of world we're in here. Makes sense that is the same approach we also take here. First question we ask everything in developing these items is, can we make something happen potentially without a technician touching it, right? Are there ways that we can do that? From there, it's potentially AI steps that we can step in to help with strategic planning, from life cycle management, proactive upgrades. Those kinds of things are pretty important to put in front of clients, and allowing you to be able to make your own decisions. Educated, where we're providing this information and helping and assisting our own customer service, right? And in the not so distant future, right, You're going to be able to handle your own subscription management, which we do have some of that available today, but also hardware procurement directly inside Quest, which obviously further streamlines operations from both sides, right? That's important stuff. So that's the roadmap from our side. Now we want to hear from you. What excites you the most when it comes to the details of Quest? What challenges do you see with Quest? If you could wave a magic wand and Quest could do one new thing tomorrow, what would it be? Those are important things we would want to know. We asked those questions during our beta conversations. Rachel does a great job of that. You might have seen if some of you have worked with her in the past. Maybe you haven't. And if you're looking for a session like that, certainly join that beta group that Brittany was discussing earlier. That's important. We want that feedback. It's an open, obviously today is an open conversation too, but if you'd like to have more a more direct conversation, your feedback here is exactly what drives our development priorities, and those are the important things. We do have a lot in store, as what we've kind of talked about here today, but some that we haven't yet kind of put in front of everybody. But we'll do this on a pretty regular basis. Make sure everybody's up to date and aware of what's coming. We don't have specific dates on the release of these items, but they're in active progress. A lot of them are in active progress, as Brittany showed you from our demonstration site, as well as some things that we're working on internally. So keep that all in mind. But pretty excited, for what we have in store at this point. So at this point, I think we can look to see if there are anything that's out there, any questions that might be there. I don't know if there are. When I look in the Q&A, I don't see anything active here. So if you do have anything, please feel free to shoot it directly in the Q&A section or in the chat. We'd love to answer your questions.
I'll come join you back on screen, Brian. Looks like there was a question that was posed in the chat, but Joe was able to address it. The question was, are we going to see orders and invoices added to the mobile app? And Joe had answered, originally quotes, orders, and invoices were in the first iteration of the mobile app, but after looking at the data, they weren't seeing a lot of activity. So we scaled back those pages to focus and simplify the experience. But if there's renewed desire for those pages on mobile, we're always keen to hear those thoughts. So that was the one piece of feedback received. Yeah. If anybody has another question, they can go ahead and pose it as we start to kind of wrap this discussion. I will actually, let's see here. I have to share.
Well, let me kind of touch on that just a little bit, right? So one of the things that we've learned specifically, and as a result, we're always continuing to iterate, and it doesn't mean that the billing and orders section doesn't mean that it will never come back in the mobile side. It's just that what we've been always looking to do was to improve the user experience from within the mobile application, and not broaden it with so many features that really don't have a lot of use for all of our broader mobile user base. And what we've learned is that the mobile user base is primarily client user at the moment. And we've seen a lot of that. So our target there is the service, right? We want to be sure that they have full flexibility within there. And that also means, as we're moving forward, Brittany went into the time scheduling earlier, that will be part of our mobile experience. And our expansion from the time scheduling doesn't just stop at within an existing ticket. We are also planning, which I know Brittany touched on within a ticket. We are planning also, which is down the line, not quite here yet. A lot of logistics are being worked out now, but also as a ticket is being generated to be able to push forward there. So for time scheduling, we're giving those opportunities depending upon the criteria of the ticket. So these are all things that are moving forward, and certainly things that we are planning for when it comes to mobile development. So that's pretty exciting stuff. There's a few other things that are really exciting from the mobile side that are coming. So just keep with us, because the roadmap is expanding. It's very exciting. So
Yep. And I work out of our East Hampton office. And so we also drink our own champagne, which is our take on eat your own dog food. We use Quest internally as well. And there have been times where I'll come into the East Hampton office, we'll have something beeping in the server rack. And so using the app, calling up the camera, taking a picture, and submitting it to internal IT sure makes things a lot easier. So, there's always kind of, to your point before, Brian, about every user tends to find certain functionality that's unique to them that makes Quest valuable for them. I find something as simple as being able to create a ticket and include a screen, a picture or something to make it easier for someone to troubleshoot. Part of what makes it a, critical app for me. So it's good stuff.
For sure. Absolutely.
Cool. So Brian had shared some ways to provide feedback, but wanted to offer, in addition to the survey, which Kat has put into the chat, if you want to register for upcoming events, here's a QR code for that. If after this session you don't remember Brian's name and you have a question or piece of feedback, or Brittany or anybody who's presented or otherwise, always feel free to reach out to either your client success manager, who can point you to the right person, or feel free to use the events at sourcepass.com. That comes to myself and Kat, who's on the marketing team, who's been lingering in the background, helps plan all of our events. And Kat and I are happy to forward any questions that come our way to the appropriate resources as well. It's just as an aside, we're good for 3 to 5 times a week that someone will email events at instead of help at when they submit a service ticket. We have no problem forwarding that over to our service desk, and it's kind of nice to hear from people now and again. So if you need help being pointed in a direction, feel free to use that events at sourcepass.com, and I'd be happy to reply. So thanks again for taking part today. Brian, before I completely put a bow on this, any final parting shots?
No, just excited about what's coming. If anyone has any questions, like Dave said, obviously follow here. One of the things that I would also suggest is that if you have any questions, you can reach out to me direct, or if you have any information, certainly follow up with the survey here. That'll also give you an opportunity to provide feedback. Again, think about that beta program. That would be pretty helpful, and we'd love to spend some time with you if you have questions about it. If you just want to run through some things that you've run into during your use of Quest, we want to hear about those things. So feel free to reach out anytime.
Sounds great. Brian and team, thank you very much for the update. You'll be hearing from them again in about 3 months with the next roadmap update on all the things Quest related. Do join us for some other events. We hope to see you soon, and enjoy the rest of your August as kids start to go back to school here in the next couple of weeks. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you.